Hi guys, it's Freddy here, back on the desktop with this week's Retro RPG. And this week I would like to present this, Blue Planet, not the David Attenborough series. It's a 1997 role-playing game by Biohazard Games. And for once, the back cover really does cover most of the information about the game. So if we flip over, 2199 AD, welcome to Poseidon. The planet, a water world, home to a savage ecology and awash in the mystery of an ancient alien past. The human race, desperate and dying on a famine-ravaged Earth, reaches hungrily for the once-forgotten colony world and its promise of ultimate survival. The Long John, hidden below the ocean floor, a priceless, enigmatic ore that holds the key to human DNA and the promise of human immortality. The colony, transformed into a lawless frontier as mining corporations wage brutal war and colonists fight for the survival of their adopted world. The aborigines, inscrutable, powerful, and enraged in defense of the primal heritage as ancient and mysterious as the planet's darkest waters. The game, a compelling journey into humanity's dark future on a distant planet where life is hard and dying is easy. A world where GEO marshals enforce the peace and wired mercs patrol deep waters in deadly fighter subs. A place where corporate greed and human desperation ravage an alien ecology, threatening to plunge humanity into a war of survival with an ancient legacy. Welcome to the world of Blue Planet. Now, as I said, that actually does cover a lot. So, the year's 2199 AD. The human race has messed up Earth through pollution and everything else. The crops have failed. People are starving. However, just before all this came, humanity had found a wormhole on the edge of the solar system, and they'd sent rockets through, and they'd found Poseidon, a water world with breathable atmosphere and a relatively compatible biological life on it. So they sent colonists through, but as the world collapsed under the ecological crisis, they stopped being able to send people through, and the colonists got abandoned. However, the GEO, which is a one-world geological faction of the United Nations, which has seized control of all the governments to make sure that they don't pollute more, although is obviously influenced by rich people and large corporations and the like, they've saved Earth to a degree. Earth is very much a cyberpunk world. Food is heavily processed, generally grown in domes. The ecology of the planet is wiped out, and people tend to live in big polluted cities, acid rain and all that kind of stuff. Very cyberpunk. But sending spaceships up, they can go through the wormhole and Earth recontacts Poseidon. The colonists have kind of gone native, but one of the discoveries has been Long John, mineral ore which allows you to rewrite DNA. So the rich corporations really are interested in it because it will allow people to basically get human immortality. So the large mining corporations have gone out to start raiding this world for all its stuff. Everybody's very interested. You've got the aborigines of the planet, which are fighting back against these colonists. The colonists themselves, who now see this as their home, they're probably second generation. And you've got the newcomers. So with it being a water world, there's a few archipelagos with small cities on them, but mainly everything's underwater. Fighter submarines and all that are common. Using the Long John to rewrite DNA, they've got sort of trained dolphins and whales, which help the humans. And that's kind of game. It's cyberpunk with a twist. So if we start flicking through, it's a nicely presented game. Late 1990s, so desktop publishing was definitely around and allow a very nice formatting of it. But the internal art is of a decent quality as well. It's a bit reminiscent to me of Chameleon Eclectic. their Millennium's End game. Very nicely presented. Excuse me, picking through these pages because the corners become a little damaged. Lots of information and not a lot of art here, but it's quite nice. Information about the star system. Maps of the planet Poseidon. If we can have a look at that, you can see that there are only a few archipelagos of islands. Most of it's water. What else have we got? Information about arriving on Poseidon, what it's like. Space battles are common. As colony ships come in, it takes a very long time to make the journey, so people tend, I believe, to be in cryosleep. It's a very, very, very well-researched game. The bio stuff for the geology and ecology is done very well, or the biodiversity and the planet is done very well. It's been researched extremely well for what life under the ocean is like. Some information about Earth there. The large corporations. Information about the solar system and how people have reached out into space. So Earth and Mars. The human age. There is explaining how, as a subgenre of science fiction, cyberpunk has traditionally explored the stories. So they see it as a very cyberpunk story as well. But it's very, very different. It's not cyberpunk in the dirty cities, gangs and all that. It's cyberpunk's gone out to the new frontier. Bit water world. Underwater drones there. It's a very, very interesting game. I will come on to my criticism in a second. The game system itself isn't that great. It breaks down a bit, but it works. There we are, aquaforms, hybrids, transhumans, spacers, so people brought up in low gravity. Most of the advantages people have are genetic modifications and biomods rather than electronic cyber systems inserted into their bodies. Got some vehicles. That looks more like a Star Trek shuttlecraft to me. It's a bit sketchy in the amount of artwork in it, as we're seeing. But what's in there is very nice. Human, pure strain, chimp, Darwin, or monkey, as they're often known. Cetacean characters, so you can actually play a dolphin if you want. Anything else? And then I'll go on to my criticism of the game. Right. I don't see anything else interesting in the rulebook, so we'll come on to my criticism of the game. What I found difficult to like about this game is it touches on all the interesting themes and history. You've got the aborigines, you've got ancient alien technology. The long john, which allows genetic modification, may have been put there by a more ancient species. This may have been a terraformed world of an ancient species. But it only touches on these matters. It doesn't really go into detail, which allows a games master to take control of the plot by giving him lots of ideas. But as a games master, I would be very, very hesitant to touch on these, because at least when it was being published, which is the most likely time you would be to run this game, you would want to decide for yourself, oh yes, the aliens that terraformed this world have an ancient temple, and the players discover it, and they discover that the aliens were big squid monsters. And then a published book comes out, and yes, there were aliens, but they are giant crabmen. Just a silly little difference. But I wouldn't want to make a decision on what the future of the game is and contradict something that was about to come out. Now, Blue Planet itself was only in publication for a couple of years. They brought out an updated version with very different rules, and I believe it's been out of print since about 2001. There were some source books which were decent, but I didn't pick up all of them. I picked up their technology book, which was called Fluid Mechanics, I believe. I don't know where that is. I will possibly find it and present it in a later video. But when the game was new and interesting, they didn't give you enough information. And when you know there's not going to be contradictory information coming out because it's gone out of print, you're unlikely to run it because your players aren't going to pick up the rulebook. They're going to be constantly borrowing yours for any background information, etc., etc. But anyway, it's a very interesting game. It's a totally different look at Cyberpunk. And one that I really liked and enjoyed to read, but not play. Anyway, thank you very, very much, as always, for watching. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and I will catch you later. Look after yourselves. Bye now.